Hello, welcome to the Sound of Science, the place where we deconstruct unscientific bogus and silly scams. Let's go get them. Hello, you wonderful people. Thank you very much for watching. For a while now, I've been trying to get Christians to answer simple yes-no questions about their beliefs. Rather often, Christians reply with their infamous and nonsensical free will argument. And it goes like this. 1. There is this almighty and loving God, but there is no evidence for his existence. 2. This almighty and loving God is so powerful that he magically created this planet and the entire universe, but there is no evidence for that either. 3. And this world is full of bad stuff and full of evil, and there is loads of evidence for that. Even Christians acknowledge this. So for the past 2,000 years, non-Christians have asked Christians, if your God is so powerful and he loves us, then why does he allow for rape, murder, torture and war to exist? Doesn't seem logical. If this God is so powerful and he loves us so much, then why does he allow for millions of people to have such a miserable life? Doesn't make sense. Of course, this creates a huge problem for the Christian belief system, and there is no sensible answer to this question. So what many Christians do instead is coming up with the most ridiculous excuses why their supposed almighty and loving God just lets rape, murder, torture and war exist, as if he doesn't give a crap about it, or as if he doesn't exist, or as if he is totally incapable of doing something about it, which are all reasonable explanations. But most Christians don't like these reasonable answers, so the answers they do give very much look like they were conceived in a time when people had no brains, and the church leaders thought, oh, we can get away with such a stupid explanation. People won't notice because they can't think. And one of these answers that I hear Christians use all the time, as I said, is the free will argument, and it basically goes like this. If God wants to end all evil in this world, the only way to do that is to end free will of man. So therefore he chooses to let murder, rape, torture and war exist, because somehow ending free will of man, whatever that may mean, apparently is worse than letting rape, murder, torture and war exist for some reason. For this example, I deliberately chose the worst imaginable things that can happen to man. Rape, murder, torture and war. Nothing is more horrible than that. But no, God says, ending free will, which sounds pretty vague, is even worse. Of course, nobody understands that kind of logic. Apparently, God is not so good at recognizing priorities or explaining stuff. But apart from that, that is not even the most stupid thing about the free will argument. Let's assume, despite all the lack of evidence and even the lack of good reasons to believe any of this God stuff is true, let's assume for the sake of the argument that there is a almighty loving God who created the universe with some magic spell and then gave us free will. Let me explain why this free will argument is total nonsense, even if we believe that a God exists. And that is, why would a God's only option to end rape, murder, torture and war be taking away free will from everyone? Doesn't he understand that there are other and less drastic solutions as well? Like, why focus on everybody? Why not only focus on the rapists and the murderers and leave the other people alone? Rape and murder are committed by just a very small minority of the population. Just take care of them. And you don't need to destroy them. You even don't need to take away their entire free will. It's much more simple. Just make them pick some flowers instead of raping and murdering someone. Or even better, reprogram them in a way that they never again want to hurt anybody. Or even more better, just make sure that every child that is born from now on is a lovely person. If you do that, the world will be a much better place than it's now. Would that mean that you would take away people's free will to commit evil? Who cares? It's totally irrelevant. Of course we just want a world without all the evil stuff. Just take care of it already. As long as you don't do that, we puny humans have to take care of it ourselves. We have to arrange for this entire justice system with police forces, courts, lawyers, judges, prisons. Come on, man. Do you have any idea how much time, money and energy it costs to lock up all those bad guys, while you only have to do some kind of magic spell to take care of stuff? God, we've tried hard, but we are just puny humans. We cannot erase all the mistakes that you've made. Have you any idea how much crime goes unpunished? Have you any idea how many rapists and murderers are still on the loose, just because for some reason you don't want to limit their free will to commit horrible crimes? So, please, fix this. This has been going on for far too long now. For the past few centuries, about 1 billion people died of war and crime. So perhaps it's time to take some responsibility and take care of this. Why haven't you thought of this yourself for the past thousands of years? Jeez, it boggles the mind. How many Christians still think that this free will argument has any meaning? Let's wait and see if this matter will be resolved now. I can't wait. But while you're here, please consider to subscribe to my channel. It would really help me to make more videos. And on top of that, it would help me to spread the sound of science. Thanks.